Hello everybody, and welcome to a Core Set 2021 draft here on the channel. Before I dive in, I do want to remind you that if you enjoy the video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment in the comment section down below with any questions or feedback. You can catch me streaming live at twitch.tv/NicolaiBolas. You can support my content directly via the Patreon, patreon.com/NicolaiBolas, and you can join the free NicolaiBolas community Discord server, which will be linked in the description and pinned comment. But we have opened this pack, and so we will discuss it. The rare, not that spectacular. I don't think there's a single way in the set to cast it directly from your graveyard. Maybe there's a wonky rare that lets you do it, but I don't think so. And so, See the Truth is not really a card that's going to be better than a Sorcery Speed Anticipate, which is not a card that I'm going to prioritize. At the uncommon slot, we do have a Malefic Scythe, which is one of the cards that can single-handedly take over a game the most in Limited, which is definitely something that is worth taking early. So I think this is the pick over pretty much any common in the set. Though there are some good commons. There is a Roaming Ghostlight, which is my favorite common in this pack. There's also a Chandra's Magma, which I think is second favorite common, and then a Drowsing Pteranodon as my third favorite common. There is a Direfleet Warmonger, but I don't like committing to a gold card in this spot for something that is not quite as powerful. But yeah, we're going to take the Malefic Scythe. Fits it well into a lot of different decks. Works really well with Heartfire Immolator. That is a sweet combo. So Malefic Scythe really goes into any black deck. It fits well into black-green. You can combine it with things like Portcullis Vine. It fits well into black-red because you can combine it with Heartfire Immolator. Things like the 2-mana 2/1 that can let you sacrifice things, Hobble Fiend I think it's called, that lets you sacrifice other creatures and put counters on it. So it fits well into black-red because of those. It also fits well into really just any black deck. I think blue-black probably has the least synergies with it, but it's still going to be good there. I think here we're going to take the Heartfire Immolator. I think it's the best card in the pack. It's a premium 2-drop in a set where 2-drops can be hard to find, and I think that Heartfire Immolator as a result gets the nod. It also is a fantastic combo with Scythe. It works really well into a black-red deck, and I think Roaming Ghostlight would be my second favorite card out of this pack. I think Animal Sanctuary is really hard to get going. I think there will be decks where it's better than a basic land, and it's worth running the risk of the missing on a colored source, but that's not going to be a card I build around early. I think I go Heartfire, then Ghostlight, and then Warden of the Woods maybe as a pretty big top-end card. Rousing Reed's pretty solid as well. I don't think Thallid is really a consideration there. Okie doke. Now, there's not a great black card. There's not a Skeleton Archer is solid, but not like insane. Heartfire Immolator, there's not a great red card to follow that one up, so I think we just take the best card in the pack, which is the Thrashing Brontodon. Meteorite could be cute for like a splash around deck, but I don't think that's really a deck that comes together all that often, other than going for the shrines, but we don't really have any shrine payoffs at the moment. So I'm just going to take the Thrashing Brontodon here, and I don't think anything else is particularly close. After this, I think I would take the Skeleton Archer, just to try and maximize my odds of playing the Scythe. Brontodon is also a cool combo with Scythe, because if you ever want to sacrifice it, you can equip the Scythe first, so you get an extra soul counter. Read the Tides has not been super impressive to me, but yeah, I go Thrashing Brontodon, then Skeleton Archer, and then maybe I would speculate on a Meteorite, but really tricky. Let's catch up on chat a little bit. Hey, Mitch. What up, deck list? Nice. Okay, so we started off with 3 different colors here, but we're not by any means worried about that, because we're just going to read the signals, figure out what's open. I think the best card in this pack is probably the Carrion Grub. Just a generally pretty big creature. 4 mana for even a 3/5 is like a pretty solid stat line. Like a 4 mana 2/5 is slightly below rate, but a 4 mana 3/5 just gets the job done, and it grows as the game progresses. So if they do kill your bigger creatures, it does work out pretty well. It also is the color of my best card at the moment, which is with the Malefic Scythe. There are a few white cards in this pack, but none of them are particularly great. Dub, I have been impressed by when it goes on to the 2 mana 3/1 that can gain Indestructible in white, the uncommon, but other than that, not really. Rewind, not one I'm super impressed by. Onake Ogre, not a super great card, but I think the best card by a pretty decent margin is the Carrion Grub, and I think that Short Sword is actually a pretty solid card in this set if you're trying to be an aggressive deck, because a lot of the 2-drops are like 2/2s, so making yours into a 3/3 is pretty nice, making your 3/3s into 4/4s, etc. It just kind of fits well into the format, but Carrion Grub is pretty solid. And then, of course, we go from a pack with literal nothing pretty much to a pack that has it all. This pack has even Gagglemaster, which is an absolutely fantastic card. It also has Tide Skimmer, which is a card I've been pretty impressed with in the Blue-White Flyers deck. There's also Basri's Acolyte, which is fantastic. I think it's worse than the Gagglemaster, but it's still a fantastic card. Yeah, a new monitor would be really tricky, Mitch, because setting up an extra monitor with a laptop is a little bit tricky, but yeah, definitely an idea. But yeah, I think I'm going to take the Gaggle Master here. It doesn't really combo well. I mean, Black-White does care about life gain, but I don't know if I'm going to be playing Black-White, and Gaggle Master is just going to be, I think it's just a high power level card. But definitely seeing a couple nice white signals here, a couple blue signals, so maybe we're just going to switch color combinations here. And then we do see in this pack there is a Gale Swooper, which is another flyer to go with the Gaggle Master. There's also a Fetid Imp, which is a nice flyer that also fits in the same colors and is also a flyer for the Gaggle Master. There are two good, decent black cards in this pack. Rise Again can also be pretty solid in the right situation. Larcenist can sometimes go well in a flyers deck, especially ones that use Gale Super. I think Gale Super is I'm a little bit lower on it than I was to start the format, so I think I'm going to take the Fetid Imp, just because it's also a flyer to go with the Gaggle Master, but it's also critically a 2-drop, and 2-drops are a little bit hard to come by sometimes, so I think I'm going to take this over the Gale Super, especially because I do already have a couple black cards, and I can kind of pair my black with anything at the moment, so there's no reason to commit to a second color at the moment. And now we get a Gale Super or a Skeleton Archer. I think Skeleton Archer is pretty solid. Gale Super is also good. But I think we're just going to take the Skeleton Archer. I think it's a little bit better. They're both quite solid. But Gale Super is more of an aggressive card, and my pile of cards is more of a mid-range type stuff. Skeleton Archer is just much better when you're trying to block and be defensive and grindy, so I think we'll take this over the Gale Super. We are passing a lot of white cards here. Like, there's a Selfless Savior here. There's also a Chandra's Magmut pretty late. There's a couple of white cards still. I could see taking the Selfless Savior. I think it's pretty close with the Magmut, and we haven't seen a ton of red in this pack. Malefic Scythe does go well into the black-red decks, though. It also works really well with Selfless Savior, though. Or at least decently well. I don't think Masked Blackguard is a consideration because it's just so much worse. But Magmut versus Selfless Savior is a really close pick, I think. I think we're going to speculate back towards red. Yeah, let's just take the Magmut. I was kind of up in the air on that one. Could have gone either way. I think we'll take a Gale Super now. I like how we kind of have two different directions we can go. And now Sanctuary versus Caged Zombie is pretty interesting. Caged Zombie generally is going to go pretty well into more grindy black decks, and it looks like I am playing black in this draft. Sanguine Indulgence is pretty solid. Hello, Strickler. I don't think we're going to go back to green for Portcullis Vine, though it is an option. I think we'll probably play one Caged Zombie in any black deck we get if we are short on playables. We could also just speculate. But I don't think we really want to do that. And now we'll take a Read the Tides, I think, over Awarded Battlements. This will just be a speculation pick in case we open up some crazy blue card, because we could still switch into blue, because we just have a lot of black cards right now. Even them, those aren't super impressive. We haven't seen any like Grasp of Darkness, but we'll just take a Read the Tides. Short Sword came back. As I was saying, that card's pretty solid. Fetid Imp number 2. It does get a little bit worse in multiples because it's hard to hold up the mana. We're not going to take a Snare Spinner over a 2-drop that we'll almost definitely play. And now we get to see what we open in pack 2. So right now we're very flexible. I really like where we're at. Taking stock of our situation, we could really go into any color. Unfortunately, we did not open any rares that are super impressive. This is a land, so it's not really going to facilitate much. Yeah, I agree, A Flipperoo. I agree. Having multiple equipments does get a little bit worse because you don't necessarily want to draw tons of equipment and no creatures to put them on, but I think it could be fine to play both. I'm not sure whether it would have been better to take the Selfless Savior over the Magmut. I was definitely varying, and I almost clicked over to the Selfless Savior at the last second, so it was kind of a coin flip on that pick. In this pack, Sanctum has not impressed me without the Black Sanctum, so I don't really take it until I have the Black Sanctum. Cultivate, I don't think green was open. We didn't see any great green cards. There's no really black cards to speak of. There is a Village Rites, which is a pretty solid card with Malefic Scythe. I could see taking that. So I think over the Swift Response. There's also Llanowar Visionary, which is really good. Let's just take the Swift Response. White did look fairly open pack 1, so we could be getting paid off in this pack. Shipwreck Dowser is pretty great, I will say. There's another Village Rites here. But we're not really looking to play blue. The Read the Tides was more of a just in case we open something great that's blue, so I don't think blue is open at all. I think Seasoned Hallowblade is pretty good. Just a great card, and fits with these white cards that we've been getting. I think Swift Response is going to be okay because we're more of a mid-rangey deck than like a pure aggro deck. It's definitely efficient. And I think this is probably the best card for us. After that, Village Rites would probably be my pick, just as a really nice, like, or Feat of Resistance, just as a nice, like, way to use our graveyard and stuff. Ooh, and now we see a Liliana's Devotee. This is a fantastic synergy piece. If you can combine Liliana's Devotee with a Malefic Scythe, you can just get infinite fodder if you have like a sack outlet. So normally that would go really well into a red deck because you would like have pretty good sacrifice stuff. So we could still be red-black, though it's more likely that we're black-white at the moment just because we have higher card quality in white with the Gaggle Master, the Seasoned Hallowblade. I like getting the Devotee over the Finishing Blow, though, by a decent margin. There's also a couple black-white dual lands, which is nice, though those might wheel. Finishing Blow is pretty solid as well. I don't love the Chorister as much if I don't have life gain payoffs, but black-white is the color that would get life gain payoffs, so I could see taking these, hoping to get stuff. But I think the Devotee is just better than Finishing Blow. And now this is a nice +1/+1 counter synergy card, not really what we're doing. There is a Silver Smote Ghoul, which works well with random life gain stuff. We're going to probably get some of that because we are in black-white. And it's looking like black-white is the most open color combinations. I also like that Silver Smote Ghoul is a great combo with Scythe. Basically anything that sacrifices itself is really nice with Silver Smote Ghoul. It is really nice with the Scythe because you can just equip it and then sacrifice it to get those soul counters, even if your opponent's not letting you get soul counters naturally. So here it's looking like we're just going to be black-white, and we have a life gain payoff for if we get some life gain stuff. It's also just a solid card, even without a ton of life gain. And another life gain payoff. I think we're going to take this over the Village Rites just because it's so much higher upside if it works out. Griffinary, if we gain 3 more life, we get a 2/2 white Griffin. And with a Silver Smoke Ghoul, we're going to be looking for those life gain payoffs too. So let's take the Griffinary and then try to get some Revitalizes, some random life gain. There's also a Sanguine Indulgence, which is another life gain payoff. There is Alchemist's Gift. I kind of like getting the Sanguine Indulgence over the Blood Glutton. I think Blood Glutton is going to come around a little bit later. There was one in an earlier pack that nobody should be interested in. Alchemist's Gift is also a pretty decent card combat trick, especially if you can choose the lifelink mode. It also is a good combo with Skeleton Archer. If you have 5 mana, you can play Skeleton Archer, give it Death Touch in response to the ping, and then ping something down. But I think we're just going to take the Sanguine Indulgence, get a nice grindy tool for our deck. Now there's a Blood Glutton. There's a Valor Steed, and there's a Village Rites. I do like Village Rites. What's our curve look like at the moment? We don't have a ton of 5-drops. I really do want to make sure I get at least 1 Blood Glutton. I think I'm going to. I think a Blood Glutton is definitely the pick over the Valor Steed. It's more so whether I would really like to get a Village Rites. There have been so many Village Rites coming around that I think I'll be able to get some. So I think we'll take the Blood Glutton here. It also works really well with the equipments. Yeah, we're not switching to blue-red, though. That is a late overload. I will agree with that. Here, I guess we'll take Dub. It's not the worst when we have a Seasoned Hallowblade, because that's a really nice combo. It also works well with our First Strike guys, our Death Touch guys, but not hoping to play this card. And we'll probably just take Turn Aside in case we open something crazy in red in pack 3. And now there's a white-black dual land. I actually really like this in the life gain deck because then like a random couple life from a source could really get us over the top. I think Village Rites gets a little bit worse in this deck. And now we get a Village Rites, pretty nice. I think that card's pretty underrated at the moment. Crypt Lurker could be solid. It's a nice sack outlet to go with our Scythe. Defiant Strike could also be okay, but it's generally pretty low impact. So I think we'll just take the Crypt Lurker. And we get a Defiant Strike anyway. So we're going to really prioritize Revitalize. Ooh, we got another Blood Glutton. Nice. Like scaring. Which one's scary? Last pick Swamp is a good omen. Okay, so in this pack, we see just a pretty solid rare. It can get indestructible, and it's a 3-mana play that just dominates the board a lot of the time, so I think that's going to be the pick here. I could have taken the Sanctum in that one pack over the Scoured Barrens just in case I opened a black Sanctum, but that's pretty unlikely, so I like getting just a Spark Hunter. I mean, I like just getting the land that's gonna give me some life. Oh, I don't like that card at all, a Flipperoo. It's just too easy to just get wrecked by like a Capture Sphere or something. But I like the Spark Hunter over a Gale Swooper, over a Village Rites. Just a very solid, rock solid card, especially in the late game. It just becomes unbeatable for some decks. And now there is... This card has been really impressive against me. We're not going to splash it or anything, but I do want to mention this card. I've lost to this card a lot of times. I feel like my win rate against this card is like 10%, because the decks that build around this card just stall the game and win with this, and there's not much you can do about it. So definitely a solid card. There's also in this pack a Witch's Cauldron, which I don't think is that good, though it can be okay. I'd rather have like Village Rites to just hold up rather than spend a whole card on this type of effect. I think Sanguine Indulgence is a fine option. Yeah, you do discard, but it's well, you'll just hold lands for if you have it free corn. I think it's pretty good. It's been impressive in my games. Obsessive Stitcher. It's also just a Village Rites. Celestial Enforcer's not great. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a decent number. And then any Griffinary tokens we get. So we could take this over the Archfiend's Vessel and over Village Rites. Hello, purple. I think we'll take it. It's okay. Wow. Gormand and Malefic Scythe and Revitalize in the same pack. And also Finishing Blow. Well, obviously not taking Revitalize or Finishing Blow. These uncommons are just too good. I think we'll just get a second Scythe. Scythe is just such an game-ending card. I just started purple. This is actually just a nutty card. It just wins the game on its own. Gormand's great too, though. I do love me a Gormand. You don't really need to play aggro. You can just play like a grindy deck that plays a lot of creatures. Here there is a Anointed Chorister, which I really like. In this build, it works well with my life gain synergies. It works well holding an equipment. There's also a Swift Response, which maybe I'm supposed to take. I do have some life gain payoffs. There's also a Kite Sail Freebooter as a 2-drop, Swift Response. Deathbloom Thallid is just a creature that dies pretty well with Malefic Scythe. I have a lot of creatures right now, though. I could see taking Swift Response as just another removal spell. I think I'm going to do that over the Chorister or the Freebooter. I think just getting another removal spell is good. And now we get a Chorister this pack. That's actually really good. We're definitely cutting the short sword now that we have 2 scythes. But Chorister is really good. It can hold a Malefic Scythe with the best of them. And it's just a great way to gain life to trigger my life gain payoffs, which I do have a few of. I watched an LSV draft video where this card was absolutely absurd, so I'm much higher on the card than I was yesterday. But I still don't think... I mean, obviously not. I'm not playing in this pack draft. We'll just take a random card here. And we get a last Grasp of Darkness. This is actually hugely beneficial for our deck. Gets us that extra removal spell. Very late Waker of Waves too. Time to see if Village Rites stuff wheels. There's a Sky Scanner in this pack. But with 2 Malefic Scythes, I like having ways to sacrifice my creatures. We're not going to play the Defiant Strike. Are we going to play 2 of them? Maybe. I don't think we want a Sky Scanner. Though it does work well with Scythes and stuff. Witch's Cauldron over Prismite, sure. Another Village Rites, dang, we could have got the Sky Scanner after all. Legion's Judgment's not unplayably bad or anything. Yeah, Gormand wrecked me. I think we'll just take a random removal spell. We're not going to play it. Ooh, the Revitalize came back. That's actually great for our deck. 100% going to play that one. I don't like Radiant Fountain, even with some random life gain stuff in our deck. Most of that stuff cares about us gaining 3 life. I guess I'll take it, but I'm not going to play it. Okay. So now we just have to build this deck. We're definitely running 17 lands. We have a couple of Sanguine Indulgences to get back creatures. Pretty decent top end of a curve here. I think the Crypt Lurker, the Carrion Grub isn't great in our deck. Actually, we have 2 Sanguine Indulgences. It's pretty good. I think we cut 1 Village Rites. Having 2 of those might be a little bit excessive, especially if we're planning on playing the Crypt Lurker, which I think we are, because we just want as many creatures as possible. I like Revitalize. What with the Griffinary and the Silver Smoke Ghoul, and even the Sanguine Indulgences to some degree. Are we even a Griffinary deck, though? How much stuff do we have that gains life? We have Anointed Chorister, Revitalize. We're not really a life gain deck. We have the Silver Smoke Ghoul that we'll play. Yeah, we don't really have enough stuff to gain life to make Griffinary good. So I think we're going to cut the Griffinary. And that probably means we can also cut Revitalize. And then we'll just have Silver Smoke Ghoul as a random life gain payoff. But we can also probably cut either Blood Glutton or Sanguine Indulgence. But I like the Blood Glutton because it makes the game go long. And with 2 sides, we're going to win a long game. So I like cutting the Griffinary and the Revitalize. I think the Anointed Chorister is still going to be good. It carries the equipment well. We can probably cut the Celestial Enforcer. Oh, that's awesome. 0/0 boost. Let's see. We have 15 creatures still. Our non-creatures are Sanguine Indulgence times 2, which 2 of them might be a bit excessive. Not going to lie. But it will ensure that we win any grind fests, and we are going to have ways to get creatures into the graveyard. I like Caged Zombie, I think, better than the Celestial Enforcer. I kind of want to find a way to get another Village Rites into the deck, but I think with a Crypt Lurker and a Village Rites, we kind of already have enough sacrifice stuff. And we have nice life gain at the top end. So we have 15 creatures, 8 non-creatures. The Caged Zombie's close on whether or not to cut that for a Celestial Enforcer. Those are the 2 are pretty close, because we do have 4 flyers with the 2 Fetid Imps, a Gale Sweeper, and a Gaggle Master. We might not be a Gale Sweeper deck. Like, if I'm being honest, we might not want that, because it's just not really on plan as much. It's still just a solid card, though, and it jumps our Blood Glutton, so I think it's still probably great. Crypt Lurker's good. I think we can sack a creature to get back with Sanguine Indulgence. Maybe this is worse than a Village Rites, though. That's a pretty close decision on those ones. I like having a creature, though, over a second Village Rites just because it does wear the Scythe, and we want as many things that wear the Scythe as possible. So yeah, I think that's going to do it for the build. We didn't quite get there on life gain enough to play the Griffinary and Revitalize. We do have 2, and then 3, 4, kind of 4 ways to gain life, but I don't think that's enough for the Griffinary. You really want to be consistently pumping out those tokens for that to be a good card. Like, you want 2 or 3 Revitalizes and a few Anointed Choristers, and I think our deck is more built around the Scythe than anything. But yeah, that's going to do it for the build, and let's just double check our colors to see if we want to run 8/8. Yeah, I like getting 9. I like having a slightly more in terms of black mana, because we do have this Grasp. We have Fetid Imp to have extra black mana up, so I think 9/7 is the correct split, and I'll see you folks in the matches. Before I get to the matches, I want to give a huge shout out to all of my patrons over at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas, especially those who support me at the credits level. I really appreciate the support, and thank you so much for helping me continue to produce high quality content on a consistent basis. It really does help me out a ton, and if you'd like more information about what it means to become a patron and the cool rewards you get as my way of saying thank you, you can find that information at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. Without further ado though, let's get to the matches. Welcome to round 1. We have a keeper on our hands. Perfect. We're going to get our Liliana's Devotee into play. If a creature, so if I kill this thing, and then I can still make it 2/2. I think we're going to do that. I think the reason that that's good is because it turns our swift response into a creature as well, which is a very efficient play. And then that's a creature we can sacrifice and get another creature down the road or things like that. Next turn we're going to jam Blood Glutton, and then if we draw a swamp, we can sack the creature with our Crypt Lurker and make another one. So basically we just want to make sure that we're using our stuff to get our creatures and doing things that are efficient and things like that. And there's a second swamp, so here we're just going to jam... We're going to attack, because if they do block, we can threaten to make another one. Okay, and then we have our Blood Glutton. Crypt Lurker to sacrifice this and make another one to replace it is going to be pretty good. Oh, this is what I was going to do. No blocks. I've decided to start putting this stop on more often just so I think about my stuff more. Because I think I definitely take my time when I'm drafting, but I don't really take my time when I'm playing as much. Okay, so we draw our card and then we think about what we're going to do. Okay. So I can... Crypt Lurker. I don't have anything to sacrifice with it though. I can attack this in and then make a 2/2. That seems okay. Making a 3/2 is definitely going to be worth it in the long run, I think. Because I'm not even really losing all that much. I'm just downgrading. It is a big life swing. I can just play this guy. I'll just do that. I don't want to sacrifice my 4/3 lifelinker. Even if he's getting replaced by a 3/2 on the ground, then I'm drawing a card. So if I was going to give this -1/-1 and have it lose lifelink, would that be worth a card? It might be worth a card. You know, I'm at 17. They are pressuring me in the air, but I think that's going to be worth a card. I can also sack... Oh, I can sack the Crypt Lurker. That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. Let's do that. Good point. Nice. So basically a 6-mana 3/2 draw card. And now I'll hold lands for my Seasoned Hallowblade. No blocks. I don't want to block really because I'm gaining life, so I'm winning the race. Okay, pretty good for them. This card is a house. Wow, that's crazy. They're not going to make a 3/2. Making a 3/2 for free is so good. So we'll draw a card to see what we have to do. Okay, so we're going to gain a life here. So let's attack with these two. They'll probably trade Tome Anima because they can't reliably win a race if they don't. Okay, so that's perfect. We'll play this guy for 2 white mana. I think gaining a life and giving us access to more mana is pretty nice. So I think we will play this land. Especially because black-blue, most of their removal will deal with this anyway, so Grasp and Capture Sphere both stop that. Instruct, so end the turn. Pay to make a 3/2. This card is so good. This is my first time playing with it, but have played against it, and it's so good. Okay, so they get a Sky Scanner. Fetid Imp. Okay, so we have a Grasp of Darkness. So I kind of want to kill this, but I don't really want to do it while they have mana up. Okay, they conceded. I guess they were just not going to be able to beat the 3/2s attacking them. But what was I going to do with that Grasp of Darkness? Let's see. So I was going to attack with these 3 creatures. I was going to attack with those 3. They were going to probably block and block and block. I would discard the planes Then I would probably just save this because I don't need it. I would make a 2/2 at the end of turn. And then I have Village Rights and Grasp up. No, I wouldn't have both up. I wouldn't be able to do both. That's why I would probably want to not use Grasp, because I would want to hold up my Village Rights. And I think just attacking with these three is pretty safe. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting round 1, and I'll see you folks in the next one. Round 2. We have definitely a keeper on our hand. 3 lands, 4 spells with both your colors is pretty much never a mulligan. We'll see what we want to discard to our Spark Hunter. We have Sanguine Indulgence to get back a creature if we discard a creature, but we'll have to see what we draw on our first couple draw steps. We're definitely going to lead on Swamp, because if we draw Grasp of Darkness, we want to at least have the option. Okay, Vodelian Arcanist definitely could be a bummer. We'll hide our second color for now. Right now it's looking like we're going to get rid of Gale Swooper. We could also just get rid of a Swamp. So what do we want to get rid of with Spark Hunter? We're definitely going to cast it, because we want to make sure we cast a spell this turn. Put some pressure on them, especially because they're missing land drops. Actually, were we on the play? Maybe we were on the play. So, if we play Spark Hunter, I think discarding Gale Swooper is a little bit irresponsible. Let's just discard. We do have Sanguine Indulgence that's going to let us use our mana, but Gale Swooper into Aven Gagglemaster is going to be a really good follow-up if we draw another land. I think this game could go for a while. It's blue-black, so we can just get rid of our Swamp here. We're just going to want all of our resources, I think. Palladium Mirror, okay. I think I'm going to want to cast Gagglemaster on turn 6 so that I can cast Sanguine Indulgence for 1 mana. So this turn, do I want to cast Skeleton Archer or Gale Swooper? So if I attack, they're not going to double block. They'll just take 3. So I'm kind of wasting the Gale Swooper jumping ability if I use it now. But what things in blue-black am I hoping to ping? Like, there's oftentimes just a post-combat ping I can do that can finish something off. Is there any specific X one? There's like the Masked Blackguard I could kill. From blue, what is there that I can kill? There's Keen Glidemaster. There's a decent number of things I can kill with a ping. So I think we will lead with the Gale Swooper here. It does kind of waste the jump because they're not going to block anyway. But it also gets the Gale Swooper into play for my Gagglemaster, which will then let me use Sanguine Indulgence for only 1 mana. Okay, so they drew 3 cards. Interesting. So I could just play Gagglemaster and hit them as hard as possible. I think I'm going to do that. I don't have 2 creatures to get back. I don't have a single creature to get back at the moment. And they're just going to have unbelievable amount of cards right now. They're going to definitely have the card advantage. But they did take a turn off of developing their board, and I have 7 power in the air. I could really get the job done. They have a lot of mana, though. So basically, this is a tricky spot for me. And since this turn they're going to want to deal with the flyers, they're probably not going to be able to deal with the Spark Hunter at this turn. And then I can start holding up my Indestructible if I need to. Like, play Fetid Impulse of Indestructible. Because I have like 3 or 4 viable threats at the moment. I think I will play land 6, but I don't think I'll play land 7 because I do want something to discard to the Spark Hunter. Okay, that card does not matter. And then they're going to kill Spark Hunter? Wow, okay. Sanguine Indulgence getting that back. That probably means they don't have another answer to it. Okay. So I would really like to draw a land here so I can get my spells down. They only have 3 cards in hand at the moment, so this is a pretty fine one. Okay. So I have that. I could also do this, and then I have them on a 2-turn clock. Playing Gaggle, getting back stuff to get Gaggle Master. I think I like this better. Because they haven't shown me any flyers right now. Okay, so they are out of blue mana, which will greatly restrict their plays, hopefully, this turn. Okay, go to the bottom. So I have them on a 2-turn clock, and they're nowhere near killing me. We'll find the scythe in future rounds. Okay. So we find the land. And this is now lethal on its own. I don't think we play the land because we want something to discard to the Spark Hunter. And if they don't have an answer, they're just dead. So if they loot main phase, means they're probably just dead. Because it means they're trying to cold top deck a removal spell to this, in which case they're probably dead to this plus this over the next couple turns. Yikes. Okay, so Scythe. I don't think we want to play Scythe at the moment. We have 6 lands, so we'll probably want to play this. Because they are having to deal with flyers at the moment. Yep, they messed that up. That was not what they wanted to do. So what we were going to do in this game, if they had tapped that thing down pre-combat, which they were going to clearly intend to do, is they would have taken 1. This thing on its own would be lethal next turn with Malefic Scythe plus Skeleton Archer. Because we would hit them, they would be at 3, we'd hit them for 2, and then ping them with the Skeleton Archer. So we were going to play the Aven Gaggle Master this turn, I think, and then we would play the land to play the Scythe, so that the following turn we could threaten to equip the Scythe to Fetid Imp, and then we have 2 lethal threats. So yeah, that's what we would have done. That's going to do it for that round. I'll see you in the next one, folks. Come to round 3. We have a nice hand here. That's fantastic, Gamma Llama. Okay, so here we're going to start with... Ooh, that's a good start. That's a great draw. We want to go 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, and then play Scythe after, maybe. Nice. Dare Celeb. So blue decks can struggle against Seasoned Talonblade. They could use the 2-mana Force Spike on this. Currently pretty happy with how this is going. Thanks, Hangston. Ooh, Frantic Inventory. So they're more of a grindy deck as well. But Malefic Scythe can be tricky for blue decks because they don't kill my creatures. I mean, they don't have ways to, like, kill every creature I play. My turn? Okay. Just going to keep the pressure up. I think it's a pretty clear Silver Smote Ghoul. Next turn it becomes much closer on whether or not to go Scythe equip, because Crypt Lurker can then sacrifice something. So right now we have a couple of high-powered, low-toughness creatures. We need to put pressure on them because them having 1 Frantic Inventory means they will have more, which will get them value over the course of a long game. We have plenty of lands to pitch to the Seasoned Talonblade at the moment. Truffle Snout, sure, probably just going to gain 4 life. Nope, putting a counter, interesting. That seems incorrect to me. Okay. Equip it to that guy. Now, if they trade, our Scythe grows. We're going to be able to sacrifice it anyway. I'm surprised they didn't gain the 4 life. Gonna start stacking up the Scythe. Our Crypt Lurker, sure, it adds to the board. But they're going to trade off with this now. And the more counters we can get on side, the better. Because now we have a 5/3 indestructible. Hopefully we draw another creature to play next turn. Maybe even a 5-mana 4/3. Okay. Tome Anima. That's a pretty solid card. Okay, so there is the option to go land Crypt Lurker, sack this to put a counter, equip the Crypt Lurker. But they're under so much pressure right now that I'm just going to go land Crypt Lurker with no sacrifice. Because then this way they have to deal with this card twice, which I'm not sure they can do. So I cannot block that. Okay. Equip it there. Attack like this. Cool, Scotty Arch, I'll look at it after this game. So they take 3. Them chumping's a good sign for me as well. So I can Village Rites into Sanguine Indulgence. But I think we're just going to play this Swamp. And we don't want to re-equip to this thing, I don't think. Depends. What will we draw off this? Let's just do this. This way, if they do have a Capture Sphere for Seasoned Hallowblade, we can protect it. We're not under undue pressure right now. Okay. Teferi's Ageless Insight. Could be scary. Okay, that's going to make our Sanguine Indulgence a lot better. Yep. So I can play Liliana's Devotee and make a zombie, which sounds pretty good to me. Yeah, Purple Rainer. I think the Devotee plus Zombie is a better plan here because they're so low on life that we just want to try to kill them as soon as we can. Just any creature died, right? A creature died, yep. And this way we still hold up our Village Rites. Swift response would have been a blank. And we have 4 lethal threats they have to deal with. Yikes. That's 8 cards. Okay, so that could be a bummer. So they have Rain of Revelation, we die. Are you kidding me? Four, five, six. Yep, that's game. We did everything we could. That was just unfortunate with them having the mill card. Wow, that was a crazy combo. Teferi's Ageless Insight plus the Teferi's Tutelage. Definitely something pretty scary to deal with there. I think we did everything we could. We made sure we pressured them as much as possible. I guess we could have played the Crypt Lurker that one turn instead of equipping the Silver Smote Ghoul with our Malefic Scythe. And then we would have had the Crypt Lurker in play for an extra turn, but we would have had one less counter on the Scythe. So I think that in the vacuum it was correct. But the Tutelage was definitely a card that's going to be hard to beat. This card has beaten me like every time I've faced it. I think I've beaten it once. So if you're in your own drafts, definitely prioritize this card. But yeah, they got me with Xaxes on the mill too. 12 cards. If I'd had 13 cards, I would have been maybe okay if they didn't have any other card draw in their 12 card hand. So they probably would have gotten me anyway. They could just mill my entire deck that turn because as you saw, they milled. They drew 4 cards off the first one, so that's 8. And then they milled 6 off this, so they milled 20 cards in one turn. So they drew 4 and then they drew 6. So they drew 12 cards, 11 cards that turn because of their draw step as well. So they milled 22 in one turn. So definitely something that's going to be hard to beat for any deck. So I'll see you folks in the next round. We are on the play. We'll definitely keep this one. It doesn't have a 2-drop, but we have plenty of 3-drops to fill our days with joy. I think we'll start with the Silver Smote Ghoul. Halloween deck, yeah. A turn late, buddy, but it's okay. This guy hits the hardest, so we'll play him. I think Ageless Insight probably gets a bad rap. I think there's way more card draw than people give it credit for. But if you don't have enough, then it definitely can look pretty poor. We can play the Devotee. We can play the Hallowblade. I think next turn we want to play Devotee attack and then be able to make a zombie. So let's play the Caged Zombie this turn then. Because it's most likely to trade in combat. Oh, that's really good for me. No blocks. They might have a 4 toughness creature here. They could have the cat. I definitely don't want to block in this situation. Okay, Arcanist. Sure. Normally I wouldn't play the Devotee before combat, but I need to be able to attack with the zombie. So maybe that was a reason to play the Hallowblade last turn. Definitely gonna get our free 3/2 zombie. It doesn't hit harder than Caged Zombie because this one gets a buff. Oh no. Well, this guy's a problem. Luckily they don't have enough green mana to eat the Arcanist at the moment. We'll hold up this plains to keep our Hollow Blade safe. Yikes. We do have this answer to the Scavenging Ooze, but it's going to be tricky to use in case they have 3 creatures to eat. I wonder what they took. Flavorful deck ever, yes. Flavor win. This game's not going very well at the moment. Luckily we can suicide this token in every turn, make a replacement, and use our Caged Zombie. Never mind. Okay. At least we'll get to drain them, make them lose 2 life here. I could see them getting aggressive here because, my Hollow Blade is kind of a brick wall. We're not going to play this just because we probably need to give this indestructible a couple times. And we can just play the land later if we need to. Scavenging Ooze is a beating. They will have to attack us to beat us. Okay, this is probably good. It's probably, hopefully they bounce the Hollow Blade. Perfect. This thing will continue to grow. I like getting this down just so if I do draw. I guess my 2 copies of Raised from Dead don't really do much now. My 2 cards that... I have 3 cards that care about the graveyard. And so in best of 3 I would definitely side them out. Like my 2... bring 2 creatures back from my graveyard to my hand, and my copy of the Mill 4 have high power if I have a creature in my graveyard. We'll keep taking hits from this. They're playing around Swift Response with this guy. We will definitely sack the zombie token. They get to keep eating cards from their graveyard. It's gonna be hard to beat the Kraken. Just playing around the card. I never assume my opponents are sniping. They probably just figured it's just going to get blocked by this, and they don't want to get wrecked by like a Death Touch trick, or a Swift Response, or a Grasp of Darkness even, with a double block. Okay. If they do attack with everything now, I think we still have to potentially kill the Scavenging Ooze, but it's close. I think we actually have to kill the Kraken and then hope to draw another answer to Scavenging Ooze. Because this thing's a beating. Because this thing can block that on the ground for quite a few turns. Scooz is redonkulous. Oh, another rare. You don't say. You don't say. Also, hey, Ben. So we got some decent blocks on the ground for a while. We have some time. Yeah, they're not going to mill out. They have 19 cards. We're not going to mill them for 24 cards in a turn. Okay. We have also flooded a little bit in this game. Like, we've drawn 11 lands. But I didn't really notice because we can pitch them to this guy for some semblance of value. Do we have a way to kill this in our deck? Oh no. They're gonna make a 2/2. So this makes everything into an XX. This is 7 counters. 17 lands. 17 lands, pretty standard stuff. So this will be a 4/4 if they use this ability, which means it'll be a 12/12. Is this game even winnable? Okay, now it feels even less winnable. Do I have any series of draws that get me out of this? I don't know why I played that land. Probably because I'm not going to live for 3 more turns. Hello, this is Katana. I'm not really disappointed about the matches I lost. They were just kind of losing to the random rares. They also did a good job playing around my removal spell for this. Oh no. We're not out of it yet. They do have only 13 cards left. So if we stalled them for like 10 turns. Yeah, I'll do it after this game, Scotty. This can make everything a 4/4. Which nerfs 2 of their creatures. Definitely trading here. Ooh, they're not even offering the trade. Nice. more indestructible creatures to stall the ground. Yeah. I was dead if I didn't block though, so I had to block. Oh, you don't even have to tap this to use it? Dang. Well, this isn't gonna work. Two copies of this card in my deck does not look good against Scoos. So I could suicide one of these guys in, but then I suicide this guy in. Yeah, we're not going to win this game. Whew. I'll see you folks in the next round. Yikes. Scavenging Ooze is a heck of a card. Welcome to another round here. We have a pretty good hand. We got a Swift Response. We're going to be a little bit behind early, but then we'll Swift Response their guy, Gale Super into Gaggle Master to gain 4. And we can draw a lot of our 3-drops or things like that. Swift Response has definitely gone down in my pick order, but sometimes you just need any interaction you can get. It's good when you're racing in the air as well, so I like it in this particular hand. I don't like the Snare Spinner trades for my Gale Swooper. So if I do nothing, will they just attack into Swift Response? Because Swift Responsing this doesn't seem that bad. Playing a Fetid Imp, they'll just no way they'll get rid of this den. I'm just gonna let them attack me with Snare Spinner so I can Swift Response it. That card's just annoying against my hand. I don't want it to trade with any of my flyers. Just play our most efficient card. Next turn I'll probably play Fetid Imp and Cage Zombie, or I'll play the Gaggle Master, either one. I'm not really trying to race them through this card. But they probably don't have that many answers to flyers left. If they like punch this thing, I'm gonna be in trouble. Yeah. Happens. Jeez. Yikes. The reason I didn't hold this thing back to block is because I thought they would have a punch spell, like the whatever that's called, the 4-mana one. We'd like to trade the Fetid Imp for the Blood Glutton if at all possible, so we'll shut down their attacks with that, and we'll also get a Cage Zombie to trade with their Pride Malkin and hold back their Visionary for a turn. Hunter's Edge, that's the name of the card. 10 points for Gryffindor. Doing well today, Tommy Stark. Karavek, okay, that's not great. Not good for me here. My Fetid Imp has become useless officially. Okie doke. We'll trade those off. That's a nice little card. Zap. We're not going to trade 2 damage for 3 damage, even though we do have 6 life gain in our back pocket. This way we can block Blood Glutton more likely. That's a big one. Big guy.
Thanks everyone with your feedback. I think it will all be used considering it's both free and I can sideboard, yay.
Thank you for the bits, Scotty. I'm glad you appreciated the advice. Well, we cannot play our Silver Smote Ghoul because it will just die. I think now we can attack. Because trading this for this is pretty good. The draft has been pretty okay. We lost to this absurd mill combo where they got Teferi's Tutelage. Okay. Definitely block there. They got Teferi's Tutelage into play alongside like Frantic Inventory, and they drew 11 cards in one turn to mill me for 22, and I died. The turn before I could kill them with my attackers, so that was kind of crazy. Spark Hunter, sure. They're discarding a Dilophosaur. Interesting, interesting. Well, that's a good addition to the team. So our current plan is to have them attack with their Warden of the Woods. We kill Karavek the Spiteful, block Warden, use our Fetid Imp's ability. This could work. Maybe. Does it work? Yes! The plan worked! They dropped the tutelage pretty late in the game, actually. Pretty late. Thank you so much, Non-Toast, for the subscription. Let's get some love in the chat for Non-Toast. Welcome to the formation. Glad you're enjoying the content. Really like Fetid Imp. The Death Touch flyer can trade with any. Yeah, it is pretty nice. So here we're going to block sack this. That was a pretty good turn for us, yeah. Have I considered going for the Shrine deck? I actually had a really good Shrine deck yesterday, Tommy. I had 4 different Shrines in my deck, and I did really well. I would have got max wins, but I messed up the last game because I messed it up. The excuse is not as relevant, but basically it had been a long day. It was like 4 hours in my stream, so I messed it a little bit. That's not going to work the way they want it to. Basically, we sacrifice this creature and they don't gain any life, so they should have put that onto the Spark Hunter if they really wanted to gain life. I could have sacked in response, but I'm allowed to sack after. We just have to hope they don't have another combat trick. Yeah, it was a really good deck. It was actually 5 colors. Let's see what they have here. They could get Snare Spinner back and Karavak back if they have their own Bring 2 creatures back card. But then they can't also play them. They can play Snare Spinner and they're dead. Why not leave a blocker here? Because I need to have lethal in this exact situation. Oh, they misclicked. Because if I leave a blocker, what am I going to ever block? I mean, I'm not chump blocking. So, like, in this exact spot, they definitely misclicked and they meant to get Snare Spinner back in addition to that because they can get back 2 creatures. But if I don't put them to 3 where either of my creatures is lethal, then they can live. I would lose to removal, I lose to a blocker. I'm not chump blocking, so there's no reason to leave it back there. Whew, back to our winning ways. I'll see you folks in the next round. Welcome to another round. We are definitely going to keep this hand. We're going to save our Gale Swooper. Thank you so much, Nontoast, for 5 gifted subs. I really do appreciate that. Wow, this is awesome. Welcome, everybody. That's fantastic. Holy smokes. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Nontoast. We're gonna ping this. I'm gonna read all the names after the notifications play. Pew pew. Let's read who all got a sub. Thank you so much, Nontoast, for the gifted subs. I really do appreciate that. Welcome, Krause, Gamma Llama, Roland Wisdom, Freecorn, and Julio Martini to the formation. If for only for the month. But yeah, thank you so much, Nontoast. I really appreciate that. I'm gonna catch back up on chat now for a second. Every handle's a love handle when you love handles. Lol. Nontoast making it rain. I really do appreciate that, Nontoast. Thank you so much for the kind words. So they opted in. No, they village rights and then opted. Okay. That's awesome. I really appreciate that support. Blood Glutton into Gale Swooper. Gonna do good things. I don't want to have to spend the mana on this thing. And I don't mind trading because I do have Sanguine Indulgence that's going to be cast for 1 mana, hopefully. I feel like they're mostly going to trade, but if they just decide to screw with me and trade with that thing, then I get in a little bit of trouble. I would just be able to play the Gale Swooper, but I really wanted to get the Blood Glutton down. Nice. Pew! We're just going to jump our Blood Glutton. And I think we attack. No, let's just hold back the Fetidum to trade. Awesome, Non-Toast. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that support. Much love to Non-Toast. We don't have another creature to get back at the moment. Next turn we can attack with everything. Ooh. This is why I held back Fetid Imp, so he could trade. I'm worried about Waker of Waves or something. Well, that's not gonna happen. This hits a little bit harder, so we'll play this first. Needs help to fly. Oh my gosh, this is the card I was afraid of. Oh my gosh, the literal card. Well, that's why I kind of didn't want Fetid Imp to be in play. We are going to keep hitting them in the air. Because we do have them on a 6-turn clock here. Gonna keep playing lands so we can double spell potentially. Yikes. It becomes questionable now on how we can proceed. Yikes. Pretty high likelihood they have a non-creature spell, right? And the Gale Sweeper just gets eaten. Okay, top. I don't know if that was good. Maybe I'm just supposed to be aggressive with the Gale Sweeper. Another brittle form, eh? Because this guy gives +1/+0 to all zombies. Now that I have the Devotee going, I think it's worth it to attack. Because at the very least it'll become a 2/2 zombie at the end of the turn. If they kill this and block this, it's a bit of a blowout, but then I can Sanguine Indulgence this thing back along with something else. Yikes. Happens. You work with what you're given sometimes. So what do we want to get back? Probably the Devotee for sure. And the Blood Glutton. I usually do like 2 drafts, Ferret. I like getting the Masticore out. Scry to the top. Uh-oh. Capture Sphere. Sure. I will be able to sacrifice that maybe later on. This is a bit of dicey for me. Okay, so I can't afford to take 7. Whoa! Non-Toast with 13 more tier 1 subs. My goodness. Thank you so much. Holy heck. Holy jeez. Wow, sub goal reached. Holy smokes. Thank you for the generosity. Do 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 do. Oh my goodness. Okay, cool, perfect. Oh my gosh. Wow, there's gonna be a lot of notifications. I really do appreciate that. Holy smokes. Whoo! Thank you so much. Thanks so much, Non-Toast. Absolutely fantastic. Oh no, the notifications are hyping everything up. Because there's just so much hype. Don't be sorry, Non-Toast. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's like donating to the stream, Freecorn. Holy smokes. I'm gonna be working on some new emotes. Wow, wow, wow. This is amazing. Hokey smokes. There's just so many notifications. It's amazing. Oh yeah, we keep going. I haven't been keeping count, but I'm hyped. Let's go. Da-da. We're losing this game right now, but... Oh yeah, let's go. Oh, there we go. There's a scythe. There's a scythe. That's a hit. Making a new zombie. They are scrying a lot here. Well, I'll thank all of the new people that are in the community and stuff, and this is fantastic. Non-Toast, you madman. Song is better than the arena background song anyway. Yes, it is. I've not done a sealed event. Wow, Non-Toast, that was really, really awesome. Oh my gosh. Okay, we lose, but we tried our best. What the heck? Okay, no blocks. This is where we hope to draw a swift response for this thing and that nothing else goes wrong. Hey, perfect mill. You missed another 13 dono subs, Gamma Lemma. Charge! Don't scry a non-creature to the top, please. Yes. So we can double block this now. Yeah, this is awesome. Holy smokes. Non-toast with the donations. I really appreciate that. Welcome to the community. I have to read all these subs names. Dr. Mext, Zonkt, Xavier 41. Oh yeah, we're dead. Kings 3. Tommy Stark, Squitter, Ah Dean, Purple Rainer, CMC Cade, Ghosty Boy, Boost, Zeladonio, and TJ Dalemans. Wow. Whew. Well, we did lose this game, but I felt like we played it really well. Whew. Good game, buddy. They just had the Waker, which we can't beat, and they had a lot of good cards. Waker's just so hard to beat. Whew. Yikes. Well, that is going to do it for the draft. We did go 3-3, but if you're watching on Twitch, don't go anywhere. We're about to do another one. Just got to wrap this up for YouTube. If you were watching on YouTube and you made it all the way to the end of the video, in the comment section down below, leave hashtag comboed out to let me know you made it all the way to the end of the video, because those were some pretty spicy combos we lost to in this draft. Remember to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment with any questions or feedback. Check out the Twitch stream live at twitch.tv/NicolaiBolas. Join the free community Discord server for NicolaiBolas. It's linked in the description and pinned comment, and you can support me directly via the Patreon, patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. That's going to do it for this draft video, though. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time.